We had more NBA play-in games last night with the Pelicans beating the Spurs and the Atlanta Hawks absolutely demolishing the Charlotte Hornets. But what Hornets player Miles Bridges did after he got frustrated is the discussion that everyone's talking about today. Hornets Miles Bridges ejected, throws mouthpiece at Hawks fan on the way out. And Miles Bridges got so upset that he got ejected, that he was being let out, and that Hawks fans were kind of cheering and taunting as he made his way back to the locker room, that he lost his temper and he threw his mouthpiece that had been in his mouth full of spit the entire night and tried to hit someone with it. The problem was he missed the person he was aiming for, and he hit a 16-year-old girl in the face. And all of this is coming after so many athletes have made it a point to try to play victim lately and be like, we shouldn't be yelled at by fans this way. It's not okay. You know what? Fans should be able to say absolutely anything they want, and players should be able to say anything they want back to those fans. That should all be up for fair game. But in no circumstance should a fan be throwing anything at a player, and absolutely no players should be throwing anything at fans. But that's what happened here. And in the aftermath, everyone's trying to piece together exactly what happened. He already has officially come out and apologized. We'll get to that. But first, I want to show you what led to this. Miles Bridges explained what happened when he threw his mouthpiece after he got ejected. He was arguing a goaltend call. That's what inevitably got him ejected from the game, as Charlotte Hornets were down big time in the second half to the Atlanta Hawks. But here it is. Let's see so you guys can get an idea for yourself exactly what happened.
Bridges, who's one of the candidates.
Now you can see right there, it's this guy he's getting mad at, who doesn't even seem to be specifically talking right to him, but he's yelling about it, celebrating, because you know what? An opposing player just got kicked out of the game. Nothing wrong with celebrating that. That's what you should be celebrating. You should be taunting people for that. But if you could see right here, as I zoom out a little bit, there's this girl right here, 16 years old, declined to give her name, but she's 16. She is the one that ends up getting hit with this mouthpiece. Watch this one more time. Zoom in just a little bit more.
Bridges, who's one of the...
You can see that. Smacks her right in the face as she's looking at him. Miles Bridges winds up and throws it.
Who's one of the candidates. Oh, a fan giving him some...
And it hits her right in the face. Now that's despicable, right? And that's the problem. This is not a situation of someone in frustration, throwing the mouth guard, not realize, like maybe it hits the floor and skips. This is someone intentionally trying to hit someone with his mouthpiece, a fan. And then he incidentally hits a 16-year-old girl. Pathetic behavior. Miles Bridges did explain this. I'll let him explain himself, I suppose. You guys find how genuine you feel this is. This is the mouth guard that was still on the ground. He hit a 16-year-old girl who didn't want to give her name. This section of people around there had one basic description: gross. And I agree. Let's listen to Miles Bridges.
First, Miles, just your thoughts on the ejection and just what happened there, and just the incident with the fan, with the mouthpiece.
Yeah, I was upset about a call, a couple calls with him. And I let my temper get the best of me. That was definitely the wrong thing to do by throwing on my face. I was aiming for the guy that was screaming at me, and they hit the girl. So that's definitely unacceptable on my part. And I take full responsibility. I'm ready for any consequence that they get given. That's on me. That's out of character for me. You've been around me.
I always love it when it's like, oh, it's out of character for me. Like, yeah, that happens, and sometimes people do that, right? People don't always fly out the handle 100% of the time. But in that situation, Miles Bridges, because a fan was screaming, that he admitted to that. Right here, he says, I was aiming at the guy who was screaming. Because an Atlanta Hawks fan was screaming, celebrating that something bad had happened for the other team, Miles Bridges lost his temper and tried to throw his mouthpiece at that person.
Flash out like that. So that was definitely wrong. A lot of emotions, and hopefully I can get in contact with the young girl and sincerely apologize to her. Do some things for her.
There you go. Hopefully you can get in contact with her and do something nicer and apologize. Something like this, it cannot be glossed over this, especially with so many NBA players playing victim over the past several years, trying to get fans kicked out simply for talking, simply for an insult, whatever. LeBron James has been the one at the forefront of all this, the biggest bitch in the NBA, now getting 2 different sets of people ejected over the past 2 years. But this is bad, gross behavior from Miles Bridges. It does not reflect very well on the NBA in any way, shape, or form. And the fact that he ends up hitting a 16-year-old girl because of that just makes it worse. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.